This is the Super Bowl preview of Hood's Huddle. We got Jared Hood and Joe Physic at Joe Physic on Twitter.
At Jared D. Hood on Twitter.
We're here to talk about our Super Bowl predictions, and we're here to kind of break down the game. We talk about the Huddle Bowl and all the hype between the brothers and all that. You know, I mean, that's big noise, but we're gonna go down, kind of point out what we think is the biggest parts of both teams, what got them here, and then we're gonna make some predictions. So we're gonna start off with the Ravens. I mean, right out the gate, I think the biggest story of the playoffs has been Joe Flacco for the Ravens. I mean, he's been playing out of his mind in the second half of these games.
He's been saying he's an elite quarterback, and he's proven it to everybody. Everyone's like, yeah, okay, Joe Flacco, sure you are.
But he's come out
and doing it.
And even last year's playoffs, I mean, you know, they lost and all that. We talked about the drop pass and all that, whatever. But he still played a great game even just a great playoffs last year. And he's, I mean, once again, coming out, doing it. I mean, he went out there, he outplayed Manning for the overtime. I mean, I think the Broncos outplayed the Ravens for that whole game. But you talk about the overtime. Flacco stepped up when he had to. He made those big throws. Everyone talked about the deep ball and everything. And here he is. And he went Patriots. Went up against Patriots, did the same thing. I mean, he's just playing crazy right now.
He is. He's just precise, making good decisions, not turning it over.
Yeah, even when they go short, it seems like he's picking the right receiver to go short. In the beginning of last game, they threw 3 times in a row. 2 of those first 3 passes were dropped by 2 different tight ends. So, I mean, you know, he's making the right decisions. He's getting the open receivers. He's not turning the ball over. And he's even coming up big, really. So, I mean, he's played well enough to get them here. And it's going to, obviously, he's going to have a major role in this game.
Absolutely. He's going to be a huge role. They haven't been using Ray Rice as much.
They haven't been using Ray Rice.
But it's been working.
It has been working. Bernard Pierce actually had more yards out of Temple. He actually had more yards in the game against the Patriots. But Ray Rice had the 2 touchdowns. I mean, you seem like you give Ray Rice the ball inside the 5. He's going to be determined to get to the end zone. But they've been running Pierce up and down a little bit. Ray Rice has been getting the ball, but if they somehow can find Ray Rice, put him in this, that looks like a ridiculously scary offense.
That's hard to stop.
Yeah, because, I mean, you already got Torrey Smith playing pretty well. You got Anquan Bolden just playing out of his mind, even though the Talib injury was kind of what sparked him to play really well in the NFC Championship.
Dennis Pitt has been coming up huge.
Dennis Pitt has been coming up really big. And another thing is the O-line has been blocking. They switched Michael Orr back to his original position, and they have been just dominating in these playoffs. That was my key going into the playoffs for the Ravens, was their offensive line looked really horrible about the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. Put Michael Orr back where he belongs, and it's just been like, wow. I mean, they look like a new offensive line. They've really been protecting. They've been playing well. That whole offense is really clicking. It seems like it's taken them a little bit to start clicking because the second half's kind of where they've been scoring their points in these playoffs, but still, they're moving. They're doing well.
And then their defense, I mean, always good.
Yeah, the historically good. Even this year, they weren't. If you look at their numbers and their stats, you know, you can throw that out because in the playoffs, they've given up 19 points per game, 17 points overall in the second half of all 3 of these games. I mean, they're just playing out of their minds right now. They're doing everything they have to.
They have Ray Lewis, who's been there before.
Right.
He can hold it all down. He can keep everybody focused.
And when you're talking about the Ravens defense, you're talking about Ray Lewis this year, you're talking about a team of destiny, a team that really feels like they got to do it for Ray. I mean, I've seen so many interviews where they said after he announced to the team that he was retiring that there was a different vibe, and they all feel like they came out with a whole different feeling from that team meeting, and they've been determined, and they've showed it. I mean, this defense has come out just on fire, playing well. Even Webb's hurt, their best cornerback, and they're still the cornerbacks are even playing well. They're covering their guys. Defensive line is really getting to the quarterback. You know, not really letting the big runs up. That's a big thing.
Getting some tip passes.
I mean, that's been the biggest thing so far, and the linebackers have been doing their job as well.
An all-around great squad.
No, it really is.
Sure.
Coming back to that great defensive form that we're used to seeing from the Ravens.
Another great squad all around, the Niners.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what the Niners have done since the Kaepernick switch, but mainly in these 2 playoff games that they have played really well. Kaepernick has played I mean, absolutely.
Nobody thought he'd be this good.
Nobody thought he'd be this good. They've opened it up. They found a whole new dimension with Kaepernick in this playoffs. I mean, if you paid attention, they beat the crap out of the Patriots in Foxborough earlier this year with Kaepernick. So it's not like we haven't seen it, but they've come out, and it seemed like just a whole nother level.
That pistol offense is running really well.
Yeah, I mean, you want a pistol offense in the NFL, everyone's kind of taken back, but
everybody talked about it with RG3 this season, and the Niners were like, "Oh, we're just going to break it out halfway through the season here." And
I don't know. I mean, maybe this is obviously it's the new direction of the NFL, but this will be like the first pistol-style team to ever win the Super Bowl. I mean, that's just, it's bizarre. It really is. But he, even in the pistol, they've been opening it up, throwing it pretty deep. Vernon Davis was, for the first time since Kaepernick has been inserted in the system in the NFC Championship, he came out explosive.
On fire.
Crabtree's been the number one wide receiver since Kaepernick's been in there, so I mean...
I think that might be Kaepernick's favorite target.
Absolutely. It looks like it.
He definitely favors him a little bit.
We talked about their other targets last episode. Randy Moss and, the rest of that great wide receiving core, which is a better wide receiving core than the Patriots and a better wide receiving core than the Broncos and even a better wide receiving core than the Colts. So I think that they are going to really present a big matchup against the Ravens secondary. Frank Gore, I mean, he hasn't disappeared. He hasn't been off the map or anything, but at the same time...
Kind of like little Ray Rice situation.
Yeah, like we just talked about Ray Rice.
Much, but he's still there when they need him.
And Michael James, I mean...
He came out of nowhere.
Looks like he never left Oregon with that speed. Still, just absolutely burning people out here. He's been stepping up big in big moments. And, the dual running back thing for both teams has seemed to be working. And the 49ers and the pistol offense really seem to be getting that going.
And the Niners have a great offensive line, too. They've just as solid as the Ravens' offensive line's been playing through these playoffs.
Yeah, they came through huge in these last few games. I mean, I don't really think they get as much love or as much talked about, but they've been a solid offensive line from week 1 to this week. There's not enough you can say about how well they've done. They did a great adjustment to go from Smith to Kaepernick. You got a whole new situation. You got a third running back in that situation. Plus, you still got it for when he's scrambling. I mean, I'm impressed with how the Niners' offensive line handled that.
Yeah, and the defense is just as dominant as the Ravens is for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I was really shocked. I said it. I had a hard time seeing Atlanta put up 24 points on the Niners defense, but they seemed like they came out in the first half and they were going to put up another 24 in the second half. It didn't happen, but still, I mean, other than for that half, they have played solid. They played a bad first half against the Packers though too. So, I mean, if they can kind of get their gears going in the first quarter, then
keep it going
they might not give up any points.
It's crazy because as good as both these offenses are, the defenses are just as capable of stopping them all.
Yeah, I think
up and down the field.
Yeah, I mean, up and down. I think that these are pretty evenly matched teams. I mean, you look at the defensive line for the Niners, they're getting to the quarterback. They seem like they're causing enough rush to cause some problems. They force some big turnovers overall. The DBs have locked down, in my eyes, the two best wide receiving cores other than their own. I mean, they locked down the Packers wide receiving core, which might be the best wide receiving core in the league, and then they locked down the other than for Julio Jones' first quarter, they locked down and Tony Gonzalez, but other than that, they've locked down Atlanta and Green Bay's in the second half. I mean, that's
two big names too.
Yeah, two big names.
Pitt is no Tony Gonzalez, but I think he has to step up and have a big day for the Ravens against that Niners defense, but it's going to be tough for him.
Absolutely. Tony Gonzalez found a lot of space, so you think the Ravens are definitely going to try to exploit that and see where Dennis Pitta can go. I really think he's kind of an underrated tight end. He's not really talked about until you're watching a Ravens game. You're kind of like, oh, okay, he's a solid tight end and a solid offense, and I really think he's going to make them move.
There are times he doesn't like to show up, though, so we'll see which Dennis Pitta comes out.
He dropped a few balls in the first half of that Patriots game, so we're definitely going to see, but
it'll be tough.
Got some keys to the game.
Baltimore's offense for the San Francisco secondary?
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously it's going to be those wide receivers against that secondary. That's going to be fun because, like I said, the DBs have really locked down two good wide receiving cores, and now you got another pretty good wide receiving core. Not as many weapons in Baltimore's system, but I think they run it really well for what they do have. I got the Baltimore's offensive line versus San Francisco defensive line. That is just huge. Like I said, I'm impressed with Baltimore's offensive line throughout these playoffs and how they've adjusted since the last week of the season to now. And one of the best defensive lines in the league, San Francisco. If they can protect Flacco, it's going to be a game.
I think another key would be the quarterback play for both teams. They have to come out. They have to be mistake-free, and it's on the big stage. So, all the eyes are on you. So you got to really come out and make sure you're prepared and ready, and you can't turn the ball over.
It's kind of funny because every single game in the playoffs so far with both of these quarterbacks, we've been like, what are they going to do? We feel like there's been question marks around them, and here we are again. We're like, well, it comes down to Kaepernick. If Kaepernick plays well, or if the stage is too big for him, and same with Flacco. Is the stage too big for him? I mean, neither of these guys have played like the stage has been too big for him. It's not like they're going up against, a big name quarterback where they got to be like, oh man, I got to outplay the other guy. Because I think both of them are both reliable, both of them are solid. They both play different kind of games, and they both got to just worry about their own. I mean, like you said, if they hold the ball and don't make mistakes, they're really going to put their team in the best position to win, obviously. And both have done that so far in the playoffs.
Whichever defense can get the most turnovers is probably going to pull out a victory on this one.
Okay. All right.
I think that's going to come up pretty big.
Well, talking about victory, who's your pick in this game?
Well, the Ravens been proving me wrong every week, but the 49ers are my early pick, and I got to go with them. I'm going San Francisco 30, Baltimore 28.
Well, that's all right because you've gone against the Ravens every week, but I've gone with the Ravens every week. I got the Ravens 28-24 over San Francisco, but you picked the 49ers to win before the season. I picked the Ravens to win before the season. So
crazy
we both
crazy how it worked out.
Yeah, we both got a kind of little grudge match going on in this one. It's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be exciting. I mean, both teams have deserved to be here. Both teams have played extremely well, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun to watch all those matchups.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait.
So enjoy the Super Bowl. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and